Welcome back to another episode of IronCast. In this series, we've been working with an example app which makes an external API request for syntax highlighting. An IronWorker is essentially a package of script which is stored on our server. And when you queue up a task, our server runs that script with the parameters that you send into our server. So here is the parameter that you send into our server, which contains your database credentials, the actual request, and the database ID of the resource that you're trying to manipulate in the database. And if we view log, here's the log that you receive when the code runs. So the next intuitive question is, what is a code package and what does it look like? So let's download a code package from the server. We'll go in the code, find the worker that you're dealing with, and click download latest. So here is your code package that's actually on our server. As you can see, we've added runner.rb and runner.sh, which is used by our server to run the script. And here is your actual script. And here are your dependencies, your models and your gems. An example of this code package can be found on the link below. And so in our previous IronCast, we've briefly mentioned the .worker file. Your .worker file is used to package up your code into a code package like the one that we're looking at below and upload it to our server. So let's open up your .worker file and analyze it line by line and compare with your code package which is on our server. And here's your .worker file. The first line is always runtime and the language of your code that's written in. And next, we have these two lines, gem PG and gem active record, which will package up these two external libraries, which are active record and PG, which is the Postgres library, into the gems folder in the root directory of the worker. And as you can see here, although we only specify two gems to package up, there are many other gems that's been uploaded to a worker. That's because our worker will automatically also package up any dependencies that you have of those two external libraries. And next, we have this line called exec pigmentsworker.rb. And what that does is that if we look into our workers file, our main script is called pigmentsworker.rb. And by specifying this, the server would know to first package up this script file and save it to the root directory of your worker. And secondly, when a task gets queued up, this is the file that will be executed. Next, dir and the path to a particular directory means that we'll go one directory up from your current directory, which is right here. And we'll go one directory up to the root directory of your app and go into the app folder and package up anything that's in the models folder. And then it will save that models folder to the root directory of your worker, as you can see here. And lastly, full remote build true means that for gems or external libraries like Postgres, which requires building native extensions, we'll build a native extension on iron.io server. And if we remove this line, then the server will complain that our dependencies require native extension. And lastly, you can also insert optional arguments inside a .worker to customize your worker for particular situations. Let's look at the documentations for this to see what optional arguments we can use. We can go to dev.iron.io, go under reference under IronWorker, and we'll find references to .worker files. Go all the way to the bottom, and we can see that, for example, for the dir option, we have two arguments that we can insert. One is the path to the particular directory, And also we can say what path the directory should be stored under in the code package. So using this as an example, right now the models file is saved, the models folder is saved in the root directory of your code package. But if you can add a optional argument such as app, in that case, this models folder will be saved under the folder app, which means that we can maintain the file structure and the folder structure of your original app, which is your models folder saving under the folder of app. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I hope you found this useful.